Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Hello and welcome to Primetime Local News. I'm Callan Dunlop. Thanks for joining us. Lloydminster RCMP are backing a campaign by Lloydminster Sexual Assault Services to raise awareness about sexual violence. Coasters are being used at a number of local pubs, which Constable Melanie Flynn feels will be impactful.
Oftentimes as police officers, we do see, alcohol or drug use being involved in some sexual violence situations, right?
The coasters were designed by staff at Sexual Assault Services and have messages around consent and where victims can get help.
And it just sparks a conversation, I think, at the bar too. Like if someone's sitting there and is reading this coaster, they're able to get the context that they need right from the coaster.
Students in Lloydminster are getting more into gardening. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, we see how a grade 3 class made their impact gardening with the B. Fisher Foundation. Grade 3 students at Bar Colony School have been learning hands-on about gardening, taking a field trip to garden at the B. Fisher Center. The B. Fisher Foundation was created over 30 years ago and helps individuals with developmental disabilities.
Well, we're kind of getting the 2-for-1 deal here, so my kids are learning about plants and flowers and soil and things like that. So we're learning about curriculum, but then we're also able to go and get some people and do a task that should be achievable for everyone to do as well, which is pretty darn awesome to go and see out of our kids. They're sometimes being guides, sometimes they're learning, but it's cool to see how they kind of mix in with each other here.
While the kids learn the basics of science, the B. Fisher Center gets a more unique way of interacting with the community.
It's so exciting for our individuals to be able to spend time with the kids. Some of the kids we noticed the last time that sometimes struggle to make relationships with some of the other students found it super easy to come in here and make relationships that even the school support staff didn't realize would be as easy. After the day of gardening is finished, the kids got to take some flowers home.
So I'm probably gonna give it to my mom because I don't really know how to take care of a flower.
And that's all for this week's edition of Beyond the Classroom.
At Lakeland College, our students go beyond the classroom for immersive, hands-on learning experiences. It's about experiencing the real world.
Spring into Marshall is a trade show throughout the day, followed by a dance at night. Our Callum Hawker sat down with one of the event organizers to grab the latest.
I'm joined by Alyssa Shillington, a committee member here at Spring into Marshall for the event that's coming up. Alyssa, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm really glad to be here.
Perfect. And so this Spring into Marshall event, can you tell us just a bit about it as well?
Spring into Marshall, it's our 3rd year doing the event. In general speaking, it's a trade show during the day and then followed up by a community dance in the evening. It's open to everybody, families, so young and old. During the day, this year we're looking at 60+ vendors. We have a lot of other things going on. We have bouncy houses, games for the kids with prizes. We have horse and wagon rides and blacksmith demos and so many other different types of activities going on, including some First Nation dancing from from the Rocking Horse group based out of Onion Lake.
Cool.
They're going to be performing at 4 to wrap up the trade show part of the day.
Amazing. So lots of things for kind of people of all ages as well throughout the day. And when is Spring into Marshall?
Spring into Marshall this year is on June 1st, and it runs so the vendor part of the day is from 10 till 4. The doors open at 8. There is also during the dance as well, there's going to be a bar, silent auction, and obviously earn some door prizes as well. There's going to be some activities as well for kids that are coming, because not always they want to go out and do other things. So they can come out to the dance, they can draw with chalk on the floor
Nice.
and just have a blast. And their parents can be off doing their own thing because it's all within the rink, and there's not many places they can go within it. So it's usually nice, and the kids just kind of go running and do their own thing, and parents can sit back and enjoy. And yeah, this year also we were able to get some designated, like a designated driver type thing.
Amazing.
So the Lloyd Motor Club is actually going to be doing that for us this year, so they can drive people back into Lloyd or throughout the community as well.
Yeah, that's super smart. And are you still looking for any vendors, any sponsors at all for the event on June 1st?
Though we have had really good luck with getting sponsors and stuff like that, we definitely would love more assistance in that, whether it be financial type of things or whether it be for silent auction items and door prizes. We definitely would love to thank like Classic Oilfield and G-Force Industries, especially because they're our top sponsors this year. But we would also like to extend like a thank you to Velocity Truck Center. Marshall School has also helped us a bit because we get to use some of their space in the school grounds. Lloydminster Honda, Mach 1 Diesel, Thermo Downhole Fishing, SIGA, as well as the Marshall Branch Synergy Credit Union as well.
Perfect. And is there anything else that you kind of are doing differently this year than in years past, or that you want the public just to know about Spring Into Marshall this year?
This year, other than the designated drivers that we got this year, that we'd never had that in the previous 2 years. We're doing the horse and wagon races, not races, sorry. The horse and wagon rides. That's new for this year. Blacksmith demos we did have last year as well, which went over really well. This year as well, we're doing there's going to be a barbecue fundraiser for our food during the day.
Awesome.
And it's a family from Marshall that is raising funds for their son, Jesse. I don't know if...
Yep, Jesse, yeah, you put it there.
Yeah. And he is with the Drop Beat Dance Studio in Lashburn. He was awarded a $1,000 scholarship to the 2024 Lightning Elite Dance Intensive for his outstanding performance.
Wow.
At the Heart and Soul Dance Festival held in Lloydminster. In October, he will be traveling to Disney World for a week of dance training with top industry professionals. And at the end of the week, he'll perform on stage at Disney,
Amazing.
Which is really cool for somebody just in Marshall.
Of course.
So, which is awesome. It's really cool to just even be able to meet him and stuff like that, and be able to know that he's getting to go to that opportunity, and that we get to help him by letting them have the opportunity to fundraise at our event as well.
100%, and I'm sure Jesse is very thankful of all this as well.
If he is, then that's great.
Of course. Well, Alyssa, thank you so much for joining me today. I know Spring Into Marshall is going to be a great event, and hopefully everyone on June 1st heads down there and has a lot of fun. So thanks again.
No, thank you for having me. I do want to say one more thing. I just want to say a special thank you to Kayla Reese, who's done our posters the last few years. She expects nothing from it, so I just want to send just an extra thank you for that.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Alyssa, and have good luck on June 1st, and I'm sure it'll be a great turnout.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
The Lakeland Wrestlers are currently resting up after an outstanding season, but will soon be back in the swing of things with their annual golf tournament. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Today I'm joined by Alan Rogan, the athletic director of Lakeland College, and he is here today to talk to us about the Rustlers Golf Tournament, which will be taking place this summer. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Alan.
Thanks for having me.
And Alan, how important is this golf tournament for raising funds for the travel costs for the Rustlers teams, especially with how successful the season was for so many Rustlers teams last year?
The price, the success is great, but it obviously comes with a price tag. Last year, We had the most teams traveling to conference championships. Then we had 2 teams traveling to national championships. We were fortunate enough that we were able to host one. And the other one was just in the province of Alberta. But next year, we will not see any national championships in the province next year, except potentially curling. So no matter where we go next year, if we qualify, if we're strong enough to qualify for nationals, it'll be a fairly expensive endeavor to get to where we need to go. So yeah, it's just, and the price of everything just continues to go up. So this event is probably is our biggest fundraiser of the year that helps offset those costs.
And Alan, what kind of golf tournament are you guys going to be running at Rolling Greens, as well as how are the athletes of the Rustlers going to be involved throughout the day?
Yeah, it's the first event. It's actually one of our, probably one of our favorite events for our students, because our student athletes, they come in early and they are at the event. They're on the golf course all over the place. We rotate our student athletes through, so probably well over 100 of our student athletes are on the course at some point in time, engaging with all of the golfers and along with our coaches. The event is it's a shotgun start. Basically, we're going to register at 9, tee offs at 10. It's August 29th, which is a Thursday this year, a little later than we've done it in the past, a little later in the week, but we think that'll be a great day for people to come out. And we're going to be hosting it at Rolling Greens this year again. They were great hosts last year, and everybody who was in attendance seemed to have a good time. So that's a big part. You don't need to be the greatest golfer in the world. You just need to want to be able to stand up and swing at a ball. So.
And finally, Alan, when and where is the tournament taking place, and where can people go to get more information and possibly sign up?
So basically, our tournament's going to be at Rolling Greens. It's once again Thursday, August 29th. You can go, we have it up posted on social media right now. Jenna Pellerin, who is our donor associate with athletics, she's the one who's kind of leading the charge on registrations and sponsorship. So if people want to get in on the sponsorship piece, or they want to find out how they can get involved, they just need to get a hold of Jenna Pellerin. It's on our website. If you go to golf tournament on the gorustlers.ca, you can find it there. Or like I said, you can find information on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Thank you so much for all the information, Alan, and we definitely look forward to the Rustlers Golf Tournament coming up later this August.
Selling a home is something couples experiencing divorce and separation sometimes have to go through. This week, Stacey Comer finds out more about what should be considered when taking that step.
It's that time of the week again when Stephanie Dobson joins us. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator, Henke Divorce Law and Mediation with offices in Lloydminster and Edmonton. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks again for having me, Stacey.
Well, this week, Stephanie, we're talking about what happens when you're selling a house, when you're going through separation and divorce. Obviously, can be very, very complicated. So why are we talking about this subject today?
Well, I've got 10 tips for us today. We'll see how many we get through before we run out of time, but it's really important topic because selling a home during a divorce in particular is it's a significant decision, and it can have far-reaching implications on both financial and emotional fronts. So, as divorcing couples navigate this process, several essential factors come into play to make sure that this goes smoothly and there's an equitable sale. So we'll go through some of those key things sort of from start to finish today.
Okay, so number one, Stephanie, is actually agreeing on the sale.
Well, that sounds really easy, that we agree that we're going to sell the home, but it's really important to have open and honest communication between both spouses, and agreeing on that decision to sell, first of all, and then the timeline for sale can really help to streamline that process.
Okay, and then the next one is finding a real estate agent, which you wouldn't think would be complex, but again, you have to agree. That's the key word.
Yeah, you have to agree, and you both have to sign off on the listing agreement if both of your names are on the home. There's different real estate agents with different commission structures, different financial structures, so you have to find one that's right for you. But that it can really be helpful in getting that expert advice on pricing, marketing, and negotiating the sale of the home to maximize its value.
Okay, and next is division of proceeds.
Well, deciding on how to divide those proceeds once the sale has closed is critical, and this may involve considerations like contributions to the property, outstanding debts, and future financial needs post-divorce. Now, that sounds really simple, but I strongly recommend getting advice from a lawyer to help to deal with any of those implications around the sale proceeds.
And with that, of course, comes setting the sale price, Stephanie.
Well, and that's where a realtor can really come into play, but you need to conduct a thorough market analysis with the real estate agent to determine that appropriate selling price and to attract potential buyers. You know, sometimes you hear of these sales being a divorce sale, and sometimes people think that there's a fire sale a little bit just to get this gone quickly, but really you want to try to maximize that value.
Okay, and next would be showing the home, which obviously could get a little complicated depending on
Well,
schedules and
yeah.
such.
Yeah, and it can get complicated depending on who's living in the home, but both of you need to cooperate in showing the home to prospective buyers to make sure to keep the property in good condition. And maybe there's some repairs that need to be done, but you want to make sure that you enhance the appeal of the property.
Okay, and now let's go into handling offers and negotiations.
Well, when you receive offers, negotiations may arise with respect to the sale price, other kind of contingencies, and the closing timeline. So it's really important that you are able to collaborate with either using the real estate agent as a neutral or collaborate between the two of you to reach those mutually acceptable terms.
Okay, and let's talk about finalizing the sale because obviously if you've got two different people involved with two different opinions, could get a little
Yeah.
dicey.
So once that offer is accepted, then we have to navigate the closing process, which involves signing legal documents, transferring ownership, and distributing proceeds according to those agreed upon terms earlier.
Okay, and then future housing plans, which, what comes next after the house is sold.
Well, both spouses should consider their future housing needs post-sale. Now, some of it may be that the sale proceeds are tied up in the closing process or in the legal process. So you want to make sure that you're realistic in whether you're able to get those sale proceeds out before the legal process is completed.
Okay, and the last one, and probably the most important, is communication with children. It's already a difficult time for them if their parents are going through separation or divorce. But then if you're talking about selling the home where maybe they've lived their entire lives, this
Yeah.
can be a very, very tough experience for kids.
Well, you said it very well, Stacy. For divorcing couples with children, that open communication about the sale of the home can really help the children to adjust to the changes and to understand the transition that's going to happen. And of course, with respect to future housing plans, we want to make sure that they're active and involved in, getting excited about the future housing, so that they don't feel so much of that sense of loss, or that we can help them overcome that sense of loss.
All right, Stephanie, well, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it, and we'll chat with you again next week.
Yeah, thanks, Stacy.
Now let's quickly look at your next 3 days in Lloydminster. And overall, the weather is still quite nice, but we are still experiencing that gloom. Thursday, 87% chance of rain, high of 8, low of 4. Friday, 84% chance of rain, high of 11 and a low of 2. And Saturday, 60% chance of rain, and you can kind of see that sun, but a high of 15, low of 5. That is all the time we have today for Primetime Local News. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.